Gold bullion as an investment, it averagely goes up 9% every single year. But if we adjust that for inflation, it's an average of around 6%, which gives us the true value of the average annual yield for gold bullion. Now, when should you add gold to your investment portfolio? It's a very good question. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I'm no financial advisor, but I am someone who's invested an awful lot of my time into creating a successful and growing investment portfolio, be that property, index funds, maybe crypto, or even gold and silver bullion. Now, when should you start adding gold to your investment portfolio? Well, there's definitely a lot of factors to cover on this topic. Some of you seasoned investors will recognize some of them, and some of you newer investors, be it in precious metals or other investments, may not have heard of them. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and let's get straight to it. So when should you start adding gold to your investment portfolio? I think a big factor to consider is your age. At the end of the day, age has a massive role on the goals, the strategy, and the plan of your investment portfolio. If you're a younger person, you've got lots of time on your side for something like the S&P 500, which is really beneficial from compound interest. That would work very well for you. And the same goes for gold bullion. In my opinion, gold is a fantastic investment, but if you've got more time on your side, you can really allow that asset to do a lot more work in a positive direction for you. It's not to say that anyone of an older age shouldn't invest in gold bullion, but I think it's a big thing to consider when looking at your portfolio plans. Really look at the age you are at the time and work out how much time you have to really get the benefits of each individual investment. Now, it also comes down to your goals. What are you trying to achieve with your investment portfolio? Do you have a long-term, long-hold, low-risk plan? Or do you have a short-term, high-risk, potentially high-yielding goal with your investment plan? Well, there's definitely arguments for and against when it comes to gold. You could potentially buy gold and sell it on as a profit if you were to buy it in bulk. Some people, I even know of bullion dealers that buy graded bullion, or they get it graded themselves, especially proof coins, and they can make a lot of money on reselling graded proof bullion. But I'm going to reel it back a little bit, and I think we're going to look at this from a more realistic perspective. Most precious metal stackers and investors like myself are investing in gold bullion to preserve wealth, to hedge against inflation, and to really look after your capital. So I think your goals will be individual to each person. Again, a big factor is deciding on your age. It has a massive effect on your portfolio, but also on your desires for your investment portfolio. If you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, then gold probably isn't the asset for you. Gold is not a quick rich scheme. It's a long-term hold wealth preservation device. And I think that's really important to consider before delving into gold bullion. Now, as we know, gold is probably, if not one of the best wealth preservation devices out there, one of the best hedges against that inflation. It's an extremely, very, very good long-term, low-risk investment where you can put your capital in to preserve your wealth. Now, like I said earlier on in the video, gold averagely goes up around 9% on an annual yield. Now, if we adjust that for inflation, it gives us a true value of around 6%. So adding gold to your portfolio, in my opinion, is a must, because not only is it a very, very low risk investment where you can store and preserve your wealth, on historical data, it's proven to be a very, very good investment for getting a safe annual average return on your investment. If you're looking for bigger returns and riskier investments to give you some greater yields, then maybe looking at stocks and shares or cryptocurrency is better for you. But in my experience as an investor, as someone with a portfolio of a range of different diversities in there, I think gold is a massive asset that should be considered to add in that portfolio. As we know, diversification is key, not only to spread your risk when it comes to investing, but to also spread your load and to potentially spread the chance of yielding greater returns. Because if you're investing in multiple corners of the globe, in multiple assets like property, maybe rentals or HMOs, maybe gold and silver bullion to preserve and hedge against that inflation, index funds to get compound interest from dollar cost averaging your way into a long-term hold. Either way, diversification is key, and I do believe, hand on heart, that not having gold in your portfolio is a real loss, because it's a real strong asset that is going to preserve and store your wealth, while your other potential riskier, shorter, or even long-term investments are going to be working for you. Now, something to remember with gold is, yes, it's a fantastic wealth preservation device and hedge against inflation and store of wealth, but it isn't going to give you any returns. It is just going to sit there. It will increase in value, but it's not going to pay you out a passive income. So if you're looking for investments that are going to yield you capital returns of passive income, then maybe your avenue would be initially look down other avenues of investments. But once you've established a basis of your plan for your investment portfolio, maybe you've even got one ticking along and you're happy with your income and your passive returns on your other investments, then that may be the time to start investing in gold. Because something to consider with gold bullion is, of course, it's very expensive. You can buy smaller weighted bullion, but you can also buy larger. However, generically, gold is an expensive asset. So you're locking up a lot of capital into something that isn't going to be yielding you returns into the bank account, for example. So it depends on your goals, your strategy, your time and your age. But if you're looking for investments to make you money, to increase your net worth, your capital returns, your passive income, then maybe it might be a smarter idea to initially look at other avenues, creating a business, building a portfolio of index funds or stocks and shares, and getting a return on your investment first. Once you've built a foundation, some pillars for your investment portfolio, then it might be a good idea to consider putting some of that wealth you've created into gold bullion as an asset. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed making it. A huge shout out to the channel members. I appreciate your support so much, and I look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.